On May 23, 2009, former Korean President Roh Moo-hyun took his own life. His suicide shocked the nation and marked a turning point in Korean politics. However, it was not enough. On July 23, 2018, a progressive Korean politician, Roh Hae-chan, died by suicide. And on July 9, 2020, another progressive Korean politician, Park Eun-soon, hung himself. The list of tragedies can continue, but they share striking commonalities. They stood up against the military dictatorship as a student. They were committed to human rights advocacy and pursuit of social justice throughout their lives. They determined to go into politics as a means to social reforms and democratic progress. They challenged the established power structures in Korea. They ended up as the target for systematic defamation, in which tens of thousands of fake news and fabricated evidence for corruption scandal were made up to mislead the public opinion about them. And since their deaths, it's discovered that any scandal proves on them was a politically motivated investigation masterminded by the political enemies. It's a repeated cycle today's Korea is mired in, and unfortunately, one of the causes of the deaths of good politicians who champion clean politics in Korea is the general public. People in this liberal democratic society do not understand how much of sacrifices the idealists have made for great causes and what it means to live for something greater than himself. No, thanks to the Japanese colonial rule and capitalistic ideals, more than half of the people in Korea find concepts like social justice or good governance incomprehensible to begin with. So, the dynamics between the public, who do not know about issues beyond their personality politics, and the visionary politicians who don't understand how normally people play the power game, are always at work in generating tragedies in Korea. Let me explain further based on the following premise. There are largely two incompatible lenses through which a person can look at the world. The first one concerns survival, and I'd like to call it the self-centered lens. A person who sees the world with this perspective asks, who has what resources? What negotiation power do I have over this person? What weaknesses of this person and loopholes in this law can I take advantage of? And how do I maximize my gain for success? And sadly, quite a huge number of people in Korea live their lives according to this frame of mind.
Alright, so we're not global thinkers yet, but why aren't we?
We're 11.
Good point. What's your name?
Trevor.
Maybe Trevor is absolutely right. Why should we think about the world? I mean, after all, what does the world expect of us?
Expect.
Of you. What does the world expect of you?
Nothing.
My God, boys and girls, he's absolutely right. Nothing.
The second lens, on the other hand, centers around social progress and common good.
This is your assignment.
What did you tell my son to make him bring a homeless man into my house?
It's an assignment I give out at the beginning of every year to inspire. I don't expect them to actually change the world.
This is my kid. You don't know him. You tell him he can do something, he's going to believe you. And when he can't, it's going to wipe him out.
Anyone in this frame of mind concerns himself with making a difference in the world and leaving a legacy, ideally. He would care deeply about fair starts and just outcomes, human rights and sustainable future. Think about the people who stand up against the Catholic Church's sexual abuse and internal corruption, or the lives of Mahatma Gandhi, Billy Brandt, or Tim Berners-Lee, or the philosophy of Immanuel Kant, John Rawls, or Jeremy Bentham, for instance. As you can see, each of these worlds is incompatible with one another, and here's how Korean tragedy occurs. we unconsciously interpret another person to be just like us and project onto him our own motives and perspectives in life. And because a sizable number of people in Korea are mostly used to the first economic perspective in life, they find it unintelligible how a person can do anything that doesn't profit him and spend time for the greater good. So when a public figure does anything good, for instance, initiating the inter-Korean dialogue on cooperation, they conceive there is a hidden motive for personal economic gain. They not just fail to engage in the analysis for political discourse, but stick to a simplified worldview in which everyone is fundamentally selfish. Talking to North Korea is always bad, and politics is all about public figures' private behaviors. Not only do they lack in their dictionaries such concepts as social responsibility or civilizational progress, but they pursue in life short-sighted consumerist interest only. Indeed, how likely do you expect a meaningful discussion can occur on diplomatic strategy and social policy when members of the nation who claim to be its sovereign master do not know anything about the principles of democracy, geopolitical risks around the state, or the characteristics of a good leader they must look for? How likely is the democracy to function soundly when its constituents are all about the newest fashion style, the hottest stock in the market, and the best place for food and travel? So, when they see a public-minded and idealistic public figure, they fail to decide why he does what he does and what profound philosophical basis he has for the decisions that he makes. They then project their own worldview onto him to explain his actions. When Mayor Park Won-soon wanted to expand public health facilities, for instance, the public cursed him to be under the command of the North Korean regime, or he got bribery from an interest group. But look at how many lives his project has saved during the recent coronavirus crisis. Likewise, when he tried his best to listen to Seoul City residents of their needs and opinions, some complained, "We are paying you taxes to come up with solutions for us. Why are you not doing your job but asking for us the solution?" They have no idea how highly praised Seoul City has been for its citizen engagement and open communication. When finally some powerful, politically motivated groups came together, fabricated a rumor about him, and accused him as a morally scandalous person, that's when the public said, "I knew it all along," and more than rightly vilified his whole life and his whole political career. Without sound evidence for the allegation, they then went on and unquestionably burned all his legacies down. This is of course one of the many causes on the surface underneath the tragedy, and we will explore more in the next video. What I can assure in the meantime is this. In this nation, where capitalistic values and rules dominate, without the democratic ideals and principles, good politicians always die.
제가 생각하는 이상적인 사회는 더불어 사는 사람 모두가 먹는 것, 입는 것 이런 걱정 좀 안 하고 더럽고 안 입고 온 꼬라지 좀 안 보고 그래서 하루하루가 좀 신명나게 이어지는 그런 세상이라고 생각을 합니다. 만일 이런 세상이 좀 지나친 욕심이라면은 적어도 살기가 힘이 들어서 아니면 분하고 서러워서 스스로 목숨을 끊는 그런 일은 좀 없는 세상 이런 것이라고 생각합니다.